Hey everybody, this is Matt and Vinnick from Play This Means War, and I'm really excited to bring you a one-unit series. Today we're starting with hackers. Hopefully in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, I showed you how to get the app no matter what country you're in, so go ahead and check that out. I should have a link on the screen and in the description. But today, we're going to be using hackers, and these girls are destructive. I mean, they're so easy to use, a caveman can do it, and right now I want to go ahead and show you exactly what to do with them. Let's get started. On our first attack, we have plenty of red mercury to take. That's what I'm going for. I was upgrading my walls big time just over the last 2 days, and it definitely is pretty easy to level up in this game pretty fast. But as you see, I'm using the same strategy as they released before. You pretty much deploy them all on the side, all at once, and look at them go through the base. They are going for resources, and they also go for the command center, which is pretty much the town hall. So these girls are so amazing. I mean, they grab the resources, and then they go for that 1-star victory. Now obviously you can end it there because in this game, let's say you get a 1-star but the enemy gets 40% and that means a star, your 1-star retrieves. So yes, you can lose your stars if you don't either defend well or if you don't end the battle soon enough. So this game is all about strategy, as I've already mentioned, but as you see, I pretty much went full out. I wanted to get a 3-star in this one, and I'm not sure if we will be able to, but as you see, these girls have no problems just taking all these buildings out. Those town copters are giving us a few fits, but that's alright. Looks like that enemy infantry bunker tried to deploy some troops, but it didn't work for them, and there you go, we're destroying that battery, and that is 100% in this base. Boom, victory. There's the new splash screen, pretty amazing. Once again, just big props to their designers, animators, whoever made this. It's so awesome. I just love the graphics in this game. Hands down, they're the best. Our second attack has even more resources. Holy cow, 167,000 red mercury, and the hackers are once again going straight to the back. They're skipping all the infantry troops. They're only getting hit by a few sentry towers and the mortar, and pretty much they're gonna wipe out the backyard of this base. There's nothing there for them to even stop them other than an infantry bunker, but I think we should be able to wrap this one up before that anything deploys out of that. And as you see, he's already down to 23 and counting of his red mercury. Right now he's left with almost nothing, so I mean, this guy is getting just destructed by the hackers, and I didn't want to grab the town hall because I mean, I still get all the medals that I need, and the resources are pretty darn high. So let's go ahead and move on to our third attack. The reason I went for this base is because it has plenty of supply crates, and I really wanted to do some upgrades on my army camps to get more space for the hackers, because at this moment I was using about like 38 or 44, I don't know, something like that. And right now I'm at about 48, I believe, with all army camps at level 3. So guys, like I said, it's super fast to upgrade in this game. It's really easy. You really don't have to like pay to play, I guess, put it that way. Tabson was nice enough to give me like $100 worth of power cells, which are like the gem currency in this game, and I've only used about 1,000 to pretty much speed some troops up, and you don't really have to even do that. So like I said, the game is really awesome. Definitely try it out. Like I said, if you're not in Canada, New Zealand, and or what is it, Australia, you can see my last video to see how to get the game in any country you want. Once again, we took a bunch of his resources, all of the supply crates in fact, so let's go ahead and move on to our fourth attack. On our fourth attack, the only units we're going to run into are the infantry bunker, and that should be pretty easy because they actually just went right by us, except a few of the rocket troopers actually decided to turn around and ruin it for us, but that was alright. I think the hackers were still fast enough to take all of that supply crates, and now they're going right to the back for that red mercury. So as you see, I mean, this one unit, just using the hackers, is super destructive. Like, these are like goblins. Like in Clash of Clans, if you try to raid with 200 goblins, you're probably not going to succeed because they don't respawn like troops in this game. But with hackers and This Means War, that is just awesome. Look at them wreck the base. They already took out the command center and got the 40%, and the enemy's only at 3% of my base. So they gotta start working on that. They haven't even touched my resources yet. So I think, yeah, on this particular attack, I should have just ended it there. It would have been great. But I decided to go full out on this one and see if I can go ahead and 3-star this baby. And I noticed that going on the right side, there's a bunch of units there coming for my troops, so I think on the next one I'll deploy some troops on the left side because, yep, there we go. That would be a much easier time, but of course I deployed them at the wrong time, at the worst possible time, and I ran into some deploying infantry troops. So yeah, 2 infantry bunkers left and 2 sentry towers, and we're running down to 30 seconds and less by this time, and I saved them some hackers, just deploying them as I can, and look how close we're gonna get. Under 4 seconds, and boom, that's it. We had like half a health in that infantry bunker. But that's alright, grabbed a bunch of resources, got 27 medals, I've been climbing pretty high. In fact, Onyx Rage with the Alliance in this game that I created is top 50. We've been kind of dropping a little bit and going up, but we're hanging that top 50 spot, and that's pretty amazing to think that you can get your clan up to top 50 of all the clans in this game. Obviously, I guess there's not like too many players playing, too many players, is that even a word? But it's still pretty cool to be top 50. Okay, so this particular base, as you see, a bunch of those Red Mercury buildings, collect pumps, whatever they're called, drills, are inside the base, but look at the hackers go with that one wall. They're just, I mean, you can like blink your eye and then the base will be gone. That's pretty much how it is. So we do have a lot of Red Mercury left over because that storage on the right hand side hasn't been touched yet. But what I'm doing is I'm waiting for those rockets to pass by, otherwise they would have gone for my troops, and you can see two of them actually have, because my attention span in this game is really short. I like fast-paced games, and I can't wait to deploy troops, but you obviously have to wait a little bit. One thing that Tapson told me is if you have very little troops to deploy, don't deploy them at all. Wait for a few of your troops, like 10 to 15, to be able to redeploy and then deploy them all at the same time. Don't try to deploy like 4 troops right off the bat, because 4 troops are not really going to do much against this big of an army. So I'm beating them by like 11 times in terms of percentage taken, and there go 10 of my hackers, I believe. There's a sniper sitting in the center. As you see, he like disappears and then he fades back in, and he takes out one by one of those hackers. But that's alright, because as you see, at this point, I don't think there's really a reason to go any further. I could try to take out the command center, but there's just too many infantry vehicles left over. But nevertheless, looks like I was thinking otherwise when I was attacking, and I still wanted to go for that command center. First, hackers go to the back, and they notice that the command center is way up front, and every time they get near that thing, the enemy troops deploy. And let's go ahead and see if we can actually destroy that command center. Other point I want to make is whenever I try to look at like the level of the buildings or what's going on in the game, I can barely see the numbers. Like the numbers I can definitely see on this one are the resources remaining, but like the levels of the buildings I can't, because I'm watching on this small preview screen whenever I do my commentary. So if I ever mispronounce or tell you the wrong level of the building, please don't blame me for that. I can barely see what I'm looking at. I can just see enough so that I can see where the troops are going, otherwise I can't see anything else. I wish I could watch this on full screen and commentate. I cannot do that. Okay, well anyways, looks like this one is coming towards the end. I'm still pretty stubborn, and I'm trying to get that command center. That sniper is back sniping our troops out, and then one of the bombs goes off, so obviously not having a very fun time at the moment. The enemy is already at 1 star because they took out my command center, and they took out 40% of my base, but I took 40% of their base, so they're supposed to have 2 stars, but they don't, because I got 1 star on them. So I cut it before they were able to completely demolish me, and I still got pretty good loot. I should have done the ending of this battle a long time ago, but I got 8 troops back. Once again, pretty cool graphics here, and let's go ahead and move on to our 5th battle. The next tactic I want to try is deploying hackers on the right and the left side. Unfortunately, at the moment of the game, you can't use multi-touch, so you can't like place one finger on this side, one finger on the other, and they'll all deploy. You have to use one finger at a time in terms of deploying troops. You can still do the zoom and stuff, but yeah, I think multi-touch is coming at some point of the game, and that would definitely be helpful, because if I can deploy all my hackers like using 2 or even 4 fingers at the same time, can you just imagine the destruction they can do on this base? So this particular map is definitely giving us a fit in terms of letting our hackers go to the back. So I'm like, okay, this stuff is getting serious. So I deployed my Alliance castle, or I'm not sure what it's called. I think Alliance Castle, Alliance Link, and looks like I have a few Goliath tanks in there. I have a few grunts. Looks like an ATV too, and that definitely helped me out to clear the way through and let the hackers go to the back. If you guys didn't see, this base had about 111,000 of each of the resource at the beginning, and at this point we wiped out the Red Mercury, other than a little bit left over in the command center. And meanwhile, the other troops are focusing on my Alliance Link troops. I'm deploying my hackers over on the left and taking advantage of that battle line, because the battle line, once your troops are falling back or destroyed, that battle line falls back really fast, so you definitely want to keep track of that. Hackers unfortunately do not move it forward, so you're gonna have to deal with it being really far back, unless you bring like a few grunts with you. The reason I don't bring any other units with me is because something that players don't really realize in this game is that you have slots. I'll show you this when I'm attacking live at some point, but what I want to describe is at the point of the game I'm at, I have about 1 slot for my troop that I'm using, and then I have 4 extra slots that are not used. Those slots are used to regenerate the troops. So I'd rather have 4 slots regenerating hackers than 3 slots regenerating hackers and 1 slot regenerating grunts, because I don't really need grunts on this. I really need the hackers. That's why I don't use anything else. Our next replay has tons of resources, and this base is a pretty popular layout too. People like to just stack those walls up in the front because they know the troops are still going to be able to go around the base. But the reason I like to attack these is because of that design of the walls, how they don't really curve around the base, but they just have that front line, is that your hackers, they just go right around the wall and then they go right to the back of the base. And as you see, those enemy infantry bunkers and vehicle bunkers are having a really difficult time taking out the hackers, and I left literally like a few percent on that little building, and at this point there's no reason to continue. I pretty much took over it all. That was like the most resources I've gotten in the least amount of time, as well as 23 medals. So let's go ahead and take a look at how my base looks like at the moment. You guys can go back to the previous video with my attack strategy and see how my base looked back then, and it definitely got an upgrade. So first of all, I have maxed walls up in front of my base at Command Center level 4. I got a few more to upgrade right around the battery area, and my troops are also all maxed. I'm training up a bunch of hackers like 24/7, and I'm raiding whenever I can. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Moving on to Command Center level 5 soon. So make sure you destroy the like button, make sure you subscribe to this channel because more of this means more content coming up, and I'll see you next time.